Woody Allen's movie Cafe Society also premiered there, which brings up a couple of points.
Yeah, I knew you were going to get to this.
Anytime Woody Allen comes out with a movie, here come the Pharaohs.
Yeah.
Here come the Pharaohs right around the
corner.
I
don't know. What I want to speak about before we talk about the actual movie and what I'm excited about from the movie, the only thing I really want to focus on in terms of the controversy, because you're right, it endures every new movie their time to come out with these stories. Whether you believe it or not, a lot of quote-unquote journalists now have taken a stand. Like I've noticed in this past week, a lot of journalists are like, all right, that's it. After reading Ronan Farrow's piece, I'm no longer going to review Woody Allen movies or watch Woody Allen movies, or I'm going to be really uncomfortable watching them. They've skewed my perception of him and that whole thing. A lot of those have come out in the past week, including one from Matt Zoller Seitz. It's probably the highest profile writer that came out with a piece.
So he came out and said he doesn't think he can watch a Woody Allen movie anymore?
He says he's going to find it very... He says he knows he's probably going to have to, but he's going to find it very difficult to separate as he watches it. Because he believes that Allen's guilty.
I want to say just one thing, and then I'll let you...
He's not guilty. Dudes, everybody, he's not guilty, okay?
Why are we listening to Rosemary's Baby about this? Why the
I know.
Well,
first of all, he's not guilty, okay? He didn't do anything, okay? Listen, it's not because he's a filmmaker that I love, which I don't really think he's at his top peak as he was, in the 70s and 80s. I do believe that famous people that I like do bad things. I mean, I believe that Bill Cosby is guilty. I believe that Phil Spector is guilty. I believe that probably 95% that Robert Blake is guilty, so on and so on, OJ and all that kind of stuff. But this guy, this stuff has been laid out completely. And we've gotten to a point where nobody can answer the questions. Nobody, you're not going to be able to figure out anything else other than what we know now. So I think a lot of what's going on is a lot of people just see Woody Allen and they read creepy. Not only because he's now an 80-year-old Jew and they find him creepy with glasses and everything. He's not a beautiful person. And I think part of this is ageism. I think part of it is there might be a streak of anti-Semitism to it. I don't know. And I really don't. When you see Woody Allen talking about the case and talking about, and you see how Mia Farrow has acted, like giving him that crazy card with all the needles sticking in it and everything. That's the act of a crazy person. And by the way, only a crazy person adopts 18 kids. And only a crazy person, I mean, she fucking broke up Frank Sinatra's marriage, fucked around with him, broke up his marriage. Then she broke up Andre Previn's marriage with Dory Previn. I mean, she's no fucking saint.
No, she's not. Thank you. And can I say something? What the hell did Frank ever see in her?
She's beautiful and everything. I'm sure at one time she had her head on her shoulders. Although she is
beautiful. What did the devil see in her Rosemary's Baby, for crying out loud?
She is the daughter of two hardcore Hollywood drunks. She's damaged. She's mentally damaged. And it's very clear that she has coached. I mean, they said they said in the courts that it looks like the girl's been coached.
You know what, Dean? I don't like her. I really don't. I really wish first of all, she's no Billy Whitlaw. In that Omen remake, she had the Billy Whitlaw part. Oh my God!
Well, look,
I couldn't stop laughing.
First of all, people love a scandal. And I'm sure that back in the day, well, I know for a fact that back in the day when Fatty Arbuckle, even though he was acquitted all those times from a jury, because there are multiple trials, that the public perception remained that he was a rapist and he murdered that girl unintentionally. But
and it's
so
still,
I think, I think that's part of the reason why it sticks with Woody Allen, and it also sticks because a lot of people are offended by him being with Soon Yi. So I think without that extra layer of slightly questionable activity, that he might not be as plagued by this as he has been, which he's not plagued. He says that he could care less about it anymore.
He doesn't.
I didn't want to get into guilt and innocence because honestly, I wasn't there. None of us were there. But I will say,
but I know what I believe, and I do have to say this too. I do read the comment sections on some of these articles about him because Woody Allen brings out all the crazy people into the comment sections, and I saw more people standing up for the possibility that he is not guilty than I did last time when Ronan brought up all this stuff, a couple years ago.
A big indicator to me is the fact that he took a lie detector test and passed, and she refused to take one.
Right.
That seems odd to me.
Let me just say this, though. Dean, you had brought up something about anti-Semitism, and while I think that is a possibility, I also think it's a possibility that there's a lot of people are jealous of Woody Allen, because he has a career that, let's be quite frank, is one of the greatest careers in modern cinema. He can write something and get financing for it. I do think jealousy plays a thing.
And also, there's also a strong anti-intellectual streak in it.
Well, that's actually the big problem.
There's a lot of people who have never really liked Woody Allen movies. I mean, they have a small audience anyway, so they get irritated by the fact that he's constantly being called a genius, and they don't get his movies. So it makes them feel stupid. So this is a great way for them to get back at him.
It actually brings up. Remember on SCTV long ago, Play It Again, Bob, the one with Bob from Woody Allen, and Bob goes to him. The only movie of yours I ever liked was Casino Royale.
Right, exactly. That's perfect.
Because everything was like, I didn't know what the hell you were talking about after that. I didn't get it. I just didn't any hall. I didn't get Manhattan.
Anyway, I didn't want to get into all of that. I just thought it was interesting how there was a new journalist thing of taking sides on this issue, which I hadn't really seen.
I think that is completely wrong. I think that I think that's wrong of them to do that. I think that especially considering there's not going to be any judgment on the case or anything like that. So I just think that it's completely irresponsible.
It's always been such an interesting dynamic for me, though. Morally, I've a great challenge because we know Polanski was guilty. And yet you can't ignore the fact that he's a major artist, and your job is to commentate on film art. So I just it's an interesting conundrum.